What's your story and circumstances?
The story is I've had mental health problems since about the age of 14, acute anxiety and depression, which I still take medication for. In 2005 I had cancer, and that was when I got help with my mental health. And now I work for a place called Launchpad, which is mental health services in Newcastle, and work at Northumbria University and deliver training for Time to Change, which is a national campaign to end the stigma.
My story is, as in mental health, I've always suffered from some sort of problem as long as I can remember, going back to when I was a child, very young child. What started it off, I'm not sure if it's in my blood, I'm not sure if it's been passed down, I couldn't really say.
I've suffered from anxiety pretty much for the past 5-6 years.
Oh, it's long. Going back more than 40 years.
My story and circumstance mostly revolves around what it's like pre-borderline personality diagnosis and then post-borderline personality diagnosis. So pre-diagnosis I had a big long list of organisations who tried to help me, medications I'd tried and issues that I'd had. No one ever seemed to be able to really pin it down. And then sort of in my mid-20s I had a really horrible CPN, to be honest, who would do anything to get rid of me. And she found a personality disorder specialist to come and talk to me, who straight away picked up the signs and symptoms, the very chaotic life, and straight away said, you've got borderline. So after that it was a case of, right, now I know what's wrong, so what do we do about it? Because nothing I've tried helps. And she recommended me for something called dialectical behavioural therapy, and I did like a year of pretty intense work. And then after that, it still took another couple of years of just like going out there and living it and implementing it.
I suppose you could say in my, late teens or early 20s, went through a deep period of depression. Now I suppose, after a lot of other people have come forward, now I'm more comfortable to openly admit that, I've experienced that as well, it's, yeah.
Well, I've got bipolar, and it mainly presents in like mood swings. They can vary in length.
I grew up with someone who's got BPD, so it's borderline personality disorder. I've been going out with them for nearly 4 years, but they didn't get diagnosed until about a year and a half ago.
Before your mental health issues, what was your day-to-day life like?
Numb. Very, very numb. I was in a science class, my ears were going deaf, my heart was racing, I couldn't feel my body, and then there was this kid who was just shouting abuse at us, and it just made it worse and worse and worse. And then 3 years prior it went on and on and on.
Day-to-day life has always been mixed up, that's the wrong word, cursed by mental health problems. It's always affected the way I am, the way I live my life.
On and off I've had issues since I was about 15, so I hadn't really experienced what it was like until quite recently, actually being an adult and having like a normal life. But there were periods where things were okay, like stable times where, I'd get up and I was doing a lot of studying, or I'd spend time with my kids. Day-to-day life was about, being hopeful and thinking, I'm doing this study because I want to have a job and I've got this wonderful family and I'm looking forward to going on holiday.
I felt alone. I thought there was something wrong with me that wouldn't happen to anybody else, and I also self-harmed, tried to end my life, and I felt like I didn't know anybody else cut themselves, and I didn't know they used that as a coping mechanism, and I went on to self-harm for over 20 years.
After your mental health issues, what was your day-to-day life like?
after my mental health issues. Well, I still live with mental health issues, but I've got, whereas before, when I was depressed and down, every thought I had was negative. And if I got asked to do something that I wasn't used to doing, I would automatically say no, whereas now I live my life by pushing myself out of my comfort zone and trying new things. And I probably wouldn't be sitting here today if I hadn't said yes to a few things and pushed myself out of my comfort zone.
Well, I refused to go to school. I still went to school, but it took a fight to go to school. And my parents did not understand whatsoever what was going on, so I had no choice to go to school.
That's a hard one. Quite alone. I felt like I was trying to self-diagnose all the time because I didn't quite know what was going on, but I knew that something was wrong and something was like not right. I was just feeling I don't know really, it's yeah.
How did you feel when you found out about your partner's mental health?
Mass relief, first off, because it was like, that's what's the matter. And then I give it a label so we could go and look at it and find out about it, because it was something I think neither of us had really heard of before. But then also alongside that, there was like a massive sense of responsibility and feeling a little bit scared, I think, because I didn't know anything and I was going, God, what does that mean? What do I have to do now? Does that mean we're not going to last? Because when she gets better, does that mean she's going to disappear? Like all of that sort of fear factor kind of kicked in. So it made me feel insecure, but relieved at the same time. It was weird.
Yeah. How would your friends describe you?
I don't know. A bit sensitive.
I haven't got many friends, but that's by the by. A lot of my friends say there's nothing wrong with you. It's just you're feeling upset, but they don't. Nobody can understand until they're there.
Yeah.
Loud, confident, weird, crazy, but in a good way apparently.
What do you find helps?
Everyone will hate me for saying this, but a cup of tea or a good bath, you know, the whole crisis team mantra genuinely will help me. You know, if I can buy myself 5 minutes when I'm getting really distressed, it stops me doing my impulsive actions, because usually 5 minutes later I would regret them anyway. So it's like, if I can just buy myself a bit of time to have a think before I'm doing something.
My personal thing is Zen. I've also got in this local group and also a wider network, Sangha you can call it. And then it helps to have a shared perspective with people.
We talk a lot more. We do now, and that's been a skill we've had to learn, because it's not just talking about how was your day and stuff like that, but like when there's moments of calm, being able to talk to each other and be honest and open.
What helps coming to work every day, believe it or not, when most people say they don't want to go to work on a Monday, I can't wait to get to work.
What do you need?
That's a broad question. I could do with a proper income. I mean, I live on state benefits, which are adequate and nothing better.
Me personally, in my life, I probably need a partner. Somebody to be there in my life, because I haven't at the minute, and it's like my wife died 18 months ago, so I'm finding it very difficult.
What do I need? Oh, I don't know.
It's quite like an open question. But
It is very open. A more normal life, more normal life, more sort of stability, like career-wise, because I changed my mind what I'm doing all the time. Don't really know, like.
This is where I always feel a bit guilty, but it's important for self-care for the partner as well, because I think sometimes you put so much energy into supporting and learning and finding out about that condition that you can lose yourself, and that can impact on other loved ones. Like, it might impact on my son, but my family and my friends and stuff like that. It's important to look after me, because if I'm energised, then I can help and give more energy.
Yeah.
What do I need? Other than to win the lottery or a really big mug of coffee. For me, having a supportive and listening family around us who are not judging us, who are quite accepting of where I've been and where I'm going and the effort that I'm always making, that is a really big thing for me. I think that sort of is a foundation I build everything on.
Can others help you, and how can they do this?
But I find it has actually helped to talk to people. When I was off sick from work for a long time with mental health issues, among other things, when I went back to work and I confided in my manager, it was probably the best thing I ever did, because he was extremely supportive and my work's been extremely supportive, and if it wasn't for them I would never have been working again, probably, I don't know.
Well, others can only help me if I'm communicating effectively my needs. So it's, and then it's a two-way thing, of course.
Has being in a relationship with someone with mental health problems changed you?
Probably, yeah. I've never been someone who's all about myself or anything like that anyway. I'm quite a person that's got a lot of empathy for a lot of things, and in my work that's always been there. But when you're in a relationship with someone, it makes you realise how not needy that you've been in the past, but it's made you realise actually in a relationship, everyone says it's about compromise, but it's more than compromise when you're in a relationship with someone with mental illness. You do give a lot of yourself, but that makes you more self-aware about what you need and what you can give, and setting safe boundaries for yourself and for other people in your family as well, so that you're all happy.
Have you ever felt discriminated or embarrassed to tell people about your mental health problems?
Oh yeah. For a lot of years I didn't even mention it. It might be used against me, or, seen as a problem, or there might be a reason to be rejected.
From about the age of 14 to about, I would say 25, 26, I was called a nutcase, a psycho, a lunatic, and I used to shave my head and started getting tattoos just to portray the image that they were making me out to be.
I told the teacher, they were just like, oh, stop being so, sensitive and stuff like that, or stop being so cowardly, you just don't want to go to school, stop pretending you're not well.
Yeah, not necessarily discriminated against, but definitely embarrassed. And when I do tell people, I find that I tell them as if I'm talking about someone else, as if I'm talking about a scientific something or other, rather than about myself as a person.
Massively, because I've lost a lot of friends because of it, because they don't get it, which is sad, but at the same time they won't relate to them, kind of.
What would you like people to know about your condition?
It's normal, people suffer from it. Anxiety and depression are the two most common mental health issues out there. It should be talked about more.
What it's like. There's nobody else. Yes, people can have an idea, but as I say, yeah, people are the same, but also the individuals. So individual people have different levels. There's anxiety, mine's like force 10, some people's maybe is force 2. So nobody can actually know what it's like to be you. It's just somebody to be there. Somebody to be there, because quite often I feel like dead lonely. And I'm not the only one, but you know, I do, so.
Regarding my condition, which is acute anxiety and depression, you can live with it. You can live a normal life. People think if you put on medication you can't function, you can't live a life, which I thought for a lot of years, but now I live my life around the medication. So you can take medication and have mental health problems, and with the right support you can achieve anything.
That's the last question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I don't know if I should add that bit.